Let's continue and put the chat panel, that's the main content of the page, in. Give it some more width, and we'll change the expansion so our chat panel takes up as much space as it can, which is this one here. There we go. It's looking better. Oh, that image is just annoying me so much. Let's fix that. Let's just crop this bad boy. There we go. Right, that's better. Close enough for rock and roll. Alrighty, let's check you in again. Come on. Yeah, there we go. No, that's terrible. What happened? Box fit. There we go. That's better. So there's an image sitting in a container, and the container sits in a row, and the whole thing sits in an app bar. So why is my row not at the top? Why? Why you do this? It's because in Flutterflow, by default, it sets spacing at the top, and I think at the bottom of the screen for your mobile device, things like your battery status bar and Wi-Fi and that, it's like the little panel at the top of the screen. Good lordy. Okay, panic over. We'll leave it like that. That's fine. Let's get back to our chat, like the chat history panel. Coffee, yes. So for our chat panel, we're going to use a list view because it's sort of repeating chunks of text. I am right in the way again. My God, I can't hear you. Out of the way. List view. But we don't have like a data schema to base this on, which we'll do in a minute. So the slightly unusual thing about these, like the ChatGPT interface, is that you have two different styles of text. You have the text that's come back from ChatGPT, and then you've got the user input history. So we're going to use something called a conditional builder within our list box to differentiate between the two. So list view conditional builder. There we go. So if you click on generate dynamic children, we can start building the two different types of display for this, of like text. Let's call it chat history, because that's exactly what it is. But the thing is here, we don't have anything to set it to, so we need to set up a data schema for this, which would go in here. So let's do that next. So to do that, we'll go to data types, which is this little icon here. Create a data type, and let's call it chat response. So this is obviously going to hold the information that comes back from ChatGPT, as opposed to our user input. Create that guy. Leave this guy. You can go here. So let's add a new data type that is going to hold our chat history from both parties. Let's call it chat response. So we want to keep track of two things here. The text that was either entered by the user or sent back by ChatGPT, and what the source was, i.e. the user or ChatGPT. So let's add two fields for that. Let's call it source. You can spell it, source. It's just going to be a string. Come on, there, yeah. And then we'll call it content. That can also be a string. So the data schema that we've set up, that's sort of like scaffolding. It's like a blueprint. It's not the actual information itself. So we need somewhere to store that. And the place that we'll store it in this case is at the app level. If that's confusing, it should make sense in a second. So let's go to app values, which is this one. So we'll add an app state variable to hold our chat history in. Let's call it chat history. Like that, get the naming convention right. Data type is the data type that we've just created. So data type, chat response. So that's a variable that everything in the app can see, even though we've only got one page. That holds the history of everything that's been said by either party in the app, which is what we want. But you can persist it so the device will save it between sessions. So every time the user uses it, they'll see the history. We won't bother with that today, though. But it does need to be a list, because otherwise you'd end up with just one piece of the conversation. We want the whole thing. Create that. Good. let's go back to our page. To our chat history container, which is this one. If. Nice. So before we set up a list view with a conditional builder in it for the two sides of the conversation. So let's link that up to our variable that holds our chat history now. So on the list view, we go to the generate dynamic children tab that we were on before. Chat history, I mean, to set it to the app, the kind of app variable, the app state really, that we've just set up. Confirm that. So now let's save this. So now Flutterflow will, in our list view, will create basically placeholders for where our list of data would go. And we can edit the first one to get the look and feel of it correct. So the first one is the editable one, and then these are kind of like examples of what the other ones will look like, because there's no data, it's not running or anything at the moment, there's no data in it. Next, in our conditional builder, we'll differentiate between the two sides of the chat. So if the condition is single condition, so we go, basically we want to say if the source is ChatGPT or the user. So if the first value, so chat history item, so it might seem a bit fiddly, but it's not too bad once you get used to it. So we want to say the data structure field is source is equal to, so yeah, it's a little bit of a roundabout way of doing it, but it does make sense once you get the hang of it. So now it knows if the thing it's looking at is text that's come from the user input. So what do we do with that? So we need to give it something to display when it's found some user text. So let's add a row. In the way again, get up here. Add a row. The row will put some text. Let's just fix the padding on this text box. Yeah. Let's change it from hello world because we are big boys now. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. Yeah, that's fine. So let's do the alternative, which is if it's not user, it must be ChatGPT text. So make that visible so we can see it here. So with our conditional builder, you say if it's a certain condition, which is it user text, then show it as user styled text. Else, do something else, and something else is show it as GPT response text, which is our else here. So let's add a row and a text box in here. Okay, let's go back and set up the data for the user text. So this is our placeholder text, but we're going to make it dynamic now. So the data that goes in there is a chat history item, but we haven't decided which one yet, which side of the conversation. So it's the data structure field, source, data structure field, and then content. Let's just confirm that. Yeah, good. When we actually run this will look a lot better, hopefully. You can just copy this because we're going to use the same thing on our GPT text. Can I just paste? Yeah, paste. There we go. Good. Let's fix the layout of this, fix the padding. It can be 12. And so this guy needs to be over on the right hand side of our page. Can I align you right? Yes, that's better. That's run the wrong way, isn't it? That should be left, because that's the ChatGPT responses, and this is our user text, which traditionally should go on the right. Yeah, like that. Yeah, good. Let's fix this layout at the bottom. I'm not super happy with this color scheme here. So we'll make that white. Let's do this first. We'll make you honeybee yellowy orange, and we'll make the container white. And then Right, no, it's a container, wasn't it? We'll give that a border. Border. You want to be orange as well? How do you look like that? Yeah, yeah, it's something. It'll do. Close enough for rock and roll. Let's just make sure this text can expand the full width, but I would like the user text to be right justified. There we go. Okay. So if we flick between the two, oh, the text size is different, isn't it? What was that, 18? I think it's supposed to be. I get the idea, so you can apply different formatting to both sides of the conversation. Okay, so let's run what we've got, see what it looks like, which is just going to look like this, but really. Because it's the first time it's built the code, it'll take a couple of minutes to render it. Okay, it's not too shabby, but there's a couple of mistakes with it. This header needs a bit more padding around it. And somebody left label here as a placeholder in, so I need to get rid of that. Yeah, there you go. But the main problem with this at the moment, obviously, is very much like me in the morning before I've had my coffee. This thing has no brain. So next time we'll connect it up to the ChatGPT API and let the magic happen, hopefully. Anyway, that's it. Cool. See you next time. If you'd like something like this for your own company, we provide a done-for-you service, so just DM me and I'll let you know the details of that. Thanks for watching. Bye.